Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We've got Bunny next door as well. We are live and interactive, so if you want to message in, Bunny is there to shout you out, or any comments, any questions, anything at all, to message in. Now, this is the last show of the day, and if you missed the earlier two shows, we were looking at the enveloped in lace in the first two. This one, though, we've got the Getting Cosy collection. Now this you might have seen before when it first launched, so this is a back to wear, but this is coming to you with a brand new colorway. Now the colorway is obviously different from the other one, and it is completely free of charge as well for you. So you can see, if you did get the first one, you can see some of the cards there, so you can see the colour difference. Now you've got your 3 card bases, I would say, here that you've got, and you can mix into your cards. I will show you how these work when we get to the boards. You've got a wrap that you can use here as a label, and then you've got your leaves, you've got your foliage here. Now in the original colourway, they were like an orangey brown, so it was all autumn themed when this came out. This one now has been designed for springtime, so it's bringing it around, bringing it up to date for us. Same with the animals as well, so they had a slightly like an autumn hue to them, when now it's been lightened so that they're going to work with those brighter pastel spring colours. And then you also get the stamps in this as well, so you've got lovely stamp sentiments that you can use with the collection. Now I'm going to go through some samples so you can see how these have been used. So you can see, using the art as a card base, you've got lovely detail going around the edges, but you can also make your own little apertures in here. So you're kind of making like a little home for the animals to live in, which is really nice. It's like their little nook nest that they can go in. So like that one there, you can see like the little hedgehog just poking out over there. And then you can use these in different ways as well. So you can mix them up. So like you could have that there on the side, you could have it on the center, so you can use them in different ways, but obviously you don't have to keep them to the collection either. I mean, how gorgeous does that look with the squirrels on? Really, really pretty. And then look at this one. Let me just open it. Look at that. Oh, I do like that badger. I don't know, it's just like the wise old badger of the woods. Do you know, when you look at him, he's just like inquisitive. Yeah, really cute. And then we've got our squirrel. There, and then we've got that oval there. So this one really does give you the effect of almost like a wood grain. And you can see the texture that you have in there, and almost like, you know, that's the tree, and then their little home is in there. Now on these samples and the samples earlier, you can see all of these spring flowers, and they are what I'm going to be using as well, and what I was using in the earlier show. So all of these are from Into Spring, and what was the other one? Floral Dawn. But if you go on to the website and click on, what are we clicking on? It was on the top page, wasn't it? On the main page, Getting Cosy Planner, then everything that we're using in the show will come up. So the Getting Cosy collection will come up, including Into Spring flowers, so you'll be able to see everything there, the flowers, and obviously the Getting Cosy collection, the artwork and the stamps will all be there as well. So let me show you what you're going to get in the Getting Cosy collection first. Right, so we're going to start off obviously with these beautiful animal. I do love him. He looks really fluffy as well. Like he looks so soft and cuddly. So you've got the badger, the squirrel, and the hedgehog. You do have mats for these as well. So if you want to bring them to the front of your projects, you've got the mats there to do that. Now you've got your stamp set. Now obviously when this collection came out, it came out at autumn time with an autumn theme. So you can see that the foliage is that autumn colouring. So you do have some autumn sentiments on here, but you've got some ones that you can use all year round as well, like sending you warmth and joy. It's time to sit back and relax, you know, crisp air and cosy moments. A season full of magic. You could even use that for Christmas. Have a wonderful day. You're my reason to smile. Good luck. Thank you for everything. I love you. Congratulations. Well done. It's the little things. Well wishes, warm hugs. Home is where the heart is. Just to say, oh my, you've got more on there that you can use all year round than that are just specific to autumn. So great stamp set to have to be able to use, because obviously you'd use that with all of your collections. Right, and then we go on to what I would say are your 3 card bases, because you've got your rectangle that you can use as a card base. Now obviously you can use these as mat and layers onto a card if you want to make a bigger card, but for me, you've got your rectangle mat and card base, you've got the arch card base, and you have that oval card base. Now these colours that you can see in between, these are like your thin frames. So these kind of give you the illusion of mats and layers, but because of how thin they are, you wouldn't actually be able to get a die to give you that thin of a mat and layer in between. So you actually have just that frame that you can pop on, and it gives you now that illusion of, like, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of cardstock there, but you haven't. You've got the frames on the outside. Obviously I will show you when we get to demo. And then you can see you've got the dies then to go in the centre that will give you that lovely aperture in the centre. So these could be like the little homes, the little nooks. You've got these leaves, so the foliage here on the bottom, and you can see how they've been designed. So they sit on the floor like that, and they ground everything. You can just put the animals behind them, and then you've got the decoupage there to go on top. And then you've got these 2 here as well that you can build up and decorate around, and you could use them with the flowers as well. Shall I show the flowers first? Yeah, so I'll just quickly show you. These are the flowers that we've got. Now, like I said, these are going to be under the show on the website. So top menu bar, it'll say back to wear products. Drop that down and click on Getting Cosy. So you'll have the Recolour there, you'll have the Getting Cosy collection there, and you will have these. So you've got new season florals. So these are what you're seeing in these samples, and you'll see me use in the demo. And they were in the earlier shows as well, if anybody, because we did have people asking where they were from in the earlier show too. Then you've got your Daffodil Daydream. I love that. I love these, how they just frame. Like you can put anything there and it just frames it. But because of the composition of them, you can just snip into them anywhere and use different parts of them and change them. It's so usable. Then you've got your Bluebell Delight. And you have your Crocus Chorus. There you go. I've never heard of a crocus. I don't think so. A crocus. Is that the crocus? Yeah. Oh, maybe I've seen one then and I just didn't know it was a crocus. Oh, okay. So Bunny's just said that so in the earlier show I was saying that I know when it's spring or when spring's on the way, because any patch of grass by where I live, like on a roundabout or by the road, is covered in daffodils. And that's what Bunny's just said is the same by her, that she gets crocuses a lot. So maybe I have seen them then, I just didn't realise what they were. Oh, Well, next time I see a purple flower, I will take a picture of it and I'll ask you, Bunny. And you can identify it for me. And be like, there you go, you've seen one. Or you'll be like, no, that's not even a flower. I think I do know some. I think I've gone better. Yeah. Right, let me just peel these apart because I don't want that bit to get damaged. Right, so I'm going in now with the Cozy collection. So like I said, those shapes that you've got, absolutely use them as your card bases, which is what I'm going to do now. So you've got lovely cut detail look around the edges, which looks really nice. And it just adds that little something extra as well, having that there. So I'm going to use these two for my card base. So I've got the base of my card. And it's a nice size card as well to use these. You know, I don't think they're too big or they're too small. They're kind of just like the right size. So we're going to put that on there. So then you're going to go in with your next layer in. Now, like I said, you get those frames within a frame. So I've cut that out in Blush Natural. So I'm going to... yes, I will. Let's put a bit of foam tape on there. So when you cut this layer out, it cuts out the frame at the same time. The really, really thin frame. I don't think you could get like just, you know, like just your normal matte layering dyes. They would not go that thin. I don't think you can get the cut edge that close to each other that you'd actually be able to have matte layering dyes that fit that thin. So then you cut this and it'll also cut the frame that goes around. Now, when I tell you how thin that frame is, look at that. So I've cut this out now in green, and then that is just going to sit on there. So that's giving the illusion now that I have the slimmest matte layer there of green, when actually all I've got is that frame. Oh, that's a good idea. So Bunny just said you can make them abstract. Oh, you could like stick one there and then stick another one there and make it like your own. That, do you know what? If you did that, especially in like black and white or grey or something, you would make like such a, almost like a modern abstract card from a collection that you would under no circumstances say was abstract or modern or anything. That's a nice idea. Alright, let's put that. So that will just fit perfectly around there. And then it just gives the illusion of like the smallest matte layer, yeah, but it still makes that bit pop. You've still got that frame that makes that centre bit pop. So now what we're going to do is, now this is going to go across the top there. Let's put this in first. So let's get a bit of foam. So I'm going to pop a bit of tape on there. So this like band, I call it like, it's kind of like a belly band. Like you can use that across your cards, you can use it across the bottom, you could use it across an envelope, you know, it's just something that you can use. And then you've got the matte layers to go in the centre bit, so you can use your stamps then. So you can pop that kind of anywhere you want really, and then you've got that. It'd be a nice way to help you ground things as well. Do you know, if you wanted to build something on top, and then you could use that then just to ground everything. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take that off there, And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue on the edge, and then I'm going to put that there, and then these I'm just going to push those in to there, so it's going to be glued to the edge of the card, but then it's going to come forward because obviously we've got the foam tape under there then. And then just spin that around, and then just those bits that were overhanging, just snip those bits off. So then it's like that. And then I've got my sentiments. So I've stamped well wishes and warm hugs. So that's the stamp set that you get in the Getting Cosy collection. And then I've just stamped that onto the same blush natural, and I've just cut that oval with the mats and layers that fit on there again from the die set. So that just sits on there like that. And then we're going to start building our flowers. So let's grab some flowers. So these are your bluebells, and these are from the new season florals, but like we said, everything is there on the website for you. Right, and then I've also got the new colorway in the foliage that comes in the Getting Cosy. So if I just grab, so you can see, like, that's the difference in the colorways. It's so nice when you get a new colorway. I mean, for one thing, you get the colorway completely for free, so that's always a bonus. But when you get a new I always feel like it changes it. It's like getting a brand new die. Like, it just changes it completely. Right, so I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to put him in next, and then we can start building, because I want him to be almost like tucked in. Actually, I'm going to move him over there. There. Right, now let's start building. So I've got some of the bluebells, and I've got some of the foliage as well. So I'm just gonna build this up, and then you've got, so that lovely bluebell, you've got decoupage pieces that you can use as well to go on them, but I'm going to use them separate, so just to almost change the layout of the flowers. And you get so much in there, like, never be afraid to go in and have a play around and snip into things, because you can always do that with carnation. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to put some more leaves coming up, so it's not just on the bottom. And then just build up here. Does it? Bunny saying it's making her very excited for spring, just to see the flowers and the sun. Aww. And then on that way. Let's add a bit of pin flare on there. So is that when spring has officially started, when you can see new flowers and hear the birds? Is that when it is to you? Yeah. Oh, that doesn't want to stay up. You get the idea though. Obviously leave your pin flare set, guys. But you get the idea. They're just very easy to work. Do you know, and considering as well that obviously Getting Cosy was designed as an autumn themed collection, you know, it does work so well with the spring flowers. So it just goes to show how versatile the collections are, and especially having that new colorway as well just makes, you know, it just gives it another lease of life, doesn't it? And the fact obviously that you're getting that for completely free of charge too is even better. Plus we are back on a show price as well, which is amazing. So if you did miss the launch of this, or the first show of this, we have brought back that show price for you, so you're not missing out at all, which is $59.99. But do not forget, in there you are going to get the card shapes. So you've got essentially your 3 card shapes in there with all that foliage. You've got the Cozy Friends in there, plus the sentiment stamp set as well, which I really like those sentiments. I think they're very, very usable as well. Very, very nice. Right, let me grab some. Right. Now, I like to use acetate, and people always ask me about die cutting acetate. So I have done, so I did a little experiment. Now we have got our own acetate on the website. This is what this is, okay? So I've got a sheet of acetate, scored it, folded it in half, and then the bluebells. Bluebells Delight. $9.99, Bunny's just said, is how much the pack of acetate is. So this one, you can see, look, you've got 2 matte layers. You've got a matte and a layer behind there, okay? So the dye that is behind there, once I've scored the acetate, pop your dye on, and obviously leave the top bit where the score line is. Run that through, and that has die cut perfectly. Okay, so you can cut through that with your dye with our acetate. Okay, right, so we've done that. Then I've got the bluebells. Now I want this to sit on the inside, so I've just like chopped the top off, okay, which looks a bit odd, bear with. Bear with me, guys. So we've chopped the top off, and we are going to pop this on. Now obviously we are using acetate, so I'm going to use red liner tape. Now, what should I, actually, do you know what, you shouldn't do this, but just for speed I'm just going to use glue. Let me just put a bit at the top there, make sure it stays. So always, always, always when you use acetate, use red liner tape. It is the only thing that will stick to it and not pop off, okay? So you might use glue, like a wet glue, and you think, oh, do you know what, that's actually stuck. But give it a day or two and it'll pop off. Or especially, and what I always say to people as well is, think, like a lot of people that I know who have cards will put them in a windowsill or on top of a fireplace. So you've got the heat going on, they will pop off. So always use red liner tape, okay? Just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to use a wet glue just so we can, I have put a bit on there, so I'm hoping it's going to grab, but I don't want you guys to just watch me peeling and pulling red liner tape off because that's not very exciting to watch. Right, so we've got the one now that we've chopped off. That is going to go on the inside of our card. So that's going to go in there on the front. Okay. So that now is, so that's what our card is looking like. So we've got chopped off bluebells on a bit of acetate. Okay. Right. So now we're going to get another one of the bluebells, but obviously this one we haven't chopped the heads off. Okay, so same thing again now, right? This is the bit where you'd go over all those little bits, red liner tape, and you don't have to go over every single bit, just enough that you know it's got enough grab that it'll hold on. So any like chunky bits where the flower heads are or where those chunky leaves are, just pop some red liner tape onto them. Okay, so that bit there. Right, so that is now going to go on top of that, like that. So just line that up. So now, if I lift that up, so that now is the front of the card, but then if I turn that round, you can still see the flower, so it's not gonna, you're not gonna get any, you're not gonna see any of the glue, you won't see any of the red liner tape because you've essentially covered, kind of like all your work-ins, you've covered them up. So that's the front of our card now, so put that back down. Right, so we've got that there like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our badger. Do you remember what I called the badger bunny? Do you? Oh, you did! I'm so impressed you remembered that. That's what you think? Ah! So I named the badger Bodger. If you know from a certain TV program, the bunny had never heard of. She's too young. She'd never heard of it. But she's saying now that every time she sees a badger now, she thinks Bodger the badger. It is a good name. It rhymes, doesn't it? Right, so we're going to put that in. I've got some of the decoupage pieces as well that we can add into this. So let's add some of these flowers in. I get a lot of bluebells as well. Daffodils and bluebells. Yeah, in the woods. Yeah, because when I was younger, my parents' garden kind of stopped and then there was just woods. So we always, like me and my friends, and when we were younger, we always used to go and play in the woods. And yeah, it was just, the floor would just be bluebells and daffodils. Yeah. So we've got that one, and then I got one more. So you do get more of these, so you can really go in and build these up. Now you've got the little ones that will go there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one kind of here, so it just looks as if he's in the flowers a bit more. So I'm going to put one there, and then I think I might put one next to him. Or do I put one there? Oh, wait there. Shall I put my sentiment on first? And then I can see where everything will fit. I'm going to have to move that badger now, I think. Right, so I've got Scent with Happiness, because I hadn't used any of these sentiments, Bunny, all day, so I thought I better get one in. I do like these. Petals and Threads. You were close enough. Right. No, that was going to set that. Right, let me move that. Oh. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop him there. Put this there like that. So he's, oh yeah, he looks a bit more tucked in there now, doesn't he? And then we'll put that there. And then we'll put this one the other side. So I'll put that there. Like that. Right, so if I lift that up there like that now, you go Bodger the Badger in his bluebell home. They work so well, don't they? Considering it was like a, like I said, you know, that's come from an autumn themed collection, but it's working so well with a spring collection. And then if you did do that, obviously if I just spin that round, see, it still it looks good even from that way. Like he's just tucked away. Yeah, hidden away. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you placed it, it would still look really nice. So you got that. And obviously you could do that if you like that style and what I've done. You could do that with the Bluebell Delight, which is what we've just used, but you could do it with the Daffodil Daydream and the Crocus Chorus as well. So you could do that exact same one, which are all from Into Spring, which obviously we're showing you how well they go with the Getting Cosy collection that you can see there, which was, like we said, an autumn themed collection, autumn themed colorways that you were getting in there, but you today are having a brand new colorway with this, so it's bringing it into spring, so you can use them with like the flowers that we're showing you today. So bringing it right up to date, and it kind of feels like you get another, I don't know, it just gives it a complete other lease of life, doesn't it? It just changes the look of them completely. Now you've got the 3 card shapes that you can see there with that lovely aperture design in there. You've got the foliage in there, you've got the cozy friends, you've got your 3 animals plus the sentiments. But we'll show you on the board so you can see exactly what each one looks like. So like I said, for me, you've got your 3 card shapes. These are big enough, they can be your card shapes. You've got the mat with those frames, and then you've got that lovely, it's like a little nook, little home that the animals can be in. Look really, really lovely. Now this is obviously the original colorway. If you are seeing this for the very first time today, obviously you're going to get the 2 colorways, because you're going to get this one, the original one, but then you're also going to get the newer one as well. You've got your stamps where you've got just to say, all my love, home is where the heart is, well wishes and warm hugs. So you've got lovely sentiments on there that you can use all year round. And you've got cozy friends. So you've got your badger, your squirrel, and your hedgehog. I don't know what it is with me today, but every time I've said the animals, I've really got to like concentrate on what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I mixed them up earlier. Now I'm scared in case I do it again. But like every time I say them, I'm like, what is it? What is it? Concentrate, concentrate. Right, let's just do another one. So let me just grab that. Right, so this one, I'm going to use the like the arch card shape from the Getting Cosy collection. Now I've cut it, when you use these, you can, like I said, you can mix them up in so many different ways. So like this one now, I've used the actual card shape itself, and then this one I've put the what you would use to cut out your mats and layers. I've put that in there to give me that lovely frame. Now this I'm going to use as the back of my card, and this is going to be the front of my card, so that you've got that lovely window there. So I'm going to, before I do that, oh actually I'll do it as I go. Right, so this now is going to go going on my glue today. There. So pop a bit of glue. Just line that up. So that's going to sit there. Now I've got this craft card that I've got is not the thickest weight of craft card, right? So I have got two, but there's another reason that I've got two, okay? Because I've also going to use in this demo the Daffodil Daydream, and I've cut out the mat for the Daffodil Daydream, okay, and that is going to sit there like that. So the way that those daffodils have been designed, almost they go like that, as if they're like framing something ready for you. Like you could just put anything there in the middle and it would work. So I'm going to use this. Let me see. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the edge. And that is going to sit there. So just make sure you don't go over the bottom, so you don't go over that edge of the card. And then this is going to go on top. So that is going to just sit on top of there. Like that. So that is our card shape. Okay, so you've got the mat, and then you've got the matching, so they are the Interspring Perfect Papers, and then you've got the craft card in the card there, giving you that nice aperture. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to bring the daffodils in. So let me just get those in. So we've got the daffodils. Now they are going to sit straight on top of that mat like that. So you can see how it just kind of, those side pieces from the mat of this, because we've done the same colour, it kind of like fades into the background. So we're going to add them in. Let me grab some glue. So that is going to sit like that. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some of the foliage, so those leaves from the Getting Cosy collection. So we're going to add these in. Yeah, so this is the new colorway. So like we showed you, the original one was those lovely autumn colors, and now you've got your greens. So that is going to sit on the bottom there, and then I've got the leaves to match, and all I'm going to do with these is I'm going to like tuck these coming along this side of the arch. Yeah, Bunny's just said it shows how good it is, because the green of these leaves still work with the daffodils, even though they're from two different collections. So it just goes to show how well they mix and match. I find like the most of carnation collections, though, if not all of them, do that. I mean, you'll get the odd one where it's been for a specific reason or something. But then I suppose then actually if you get the other colorways, and that's the lovely thing as well, even if like something comes out and you think, you know, oh, I absolutely love that, but you know, the person I want to gift it, want to make a card for, like their favorite color is red, you know, 9 times out of 10 you'll get it in that colorway on the website as well. So it's always worth having a look at the downloads and things. And I really do think that sometimes just changing a colorway of something completely changes the look of it completely. So I'm going to just add some of these daffodils in there and just make this pop a bit. Add this one there. I do like this though. Really lovely. And you know what this card that we're making now was such a simple card to make, because essentially all we've done is we've done 3 passes for the card base, because obviously it's the same die, but you could have done the mat for this at the same time. So if we say 3 passes for all of the back of the card, and then you've cut out the daffodils, you've cut out the badger and a couple of the leaves, that's it. And it looks so effective. And that would be a card that if you were on a stall, that would catch your eye. You would look at that. That is one that you would notice. Now, I'm not going to lie, I can't remember where I was going to put the sentiment. I feel like I was going to put it there. I don't know. Do you think? Nah, there. Right, let's put this in. Right, and I've got "You Are Wonderful." And I've got that in that same perfect paper, and then obviously the mat is the same craft card. So that is just going to sit on there like that. Right, so let me stick this in first, and then we can pop the badger back in. So if we pop that there, and then I feel like, oh, actually, if I pick that up, do you know what, if this isn't proof of how invaluable pin fleur is, I don't know what is. If I did that, and then I'll put that there. There. There you go. Oh! It was all going so well. There. Yes. I thought it was going again then. And you could do that same thing. Do you know, if you make and sell as well, if doing something like that would be so good, because if you make and sell, you have now sat there and relatively quick to make this. Like I've said, it's only a couple of passes of your die cutting machine. So now you've made the arch with the daffodils. So then do the arch again, but this time put the bluebells, then put the crocus on. So you've made 3 completely different looking cards because of the flowers. It changes the look of it. Then do the exact same thing again, but this time use the oval for the card shape, and then do 3 with the oval. Then change it to the rectangle and do 3 with the rectangle, and you'll have essentially made 9 completely different looking cards, but you've made them all in the exact same way. They look really effective, but relatively quick and easy to actually make as well. Right, let me pop that there, and I'll grab the design team samples so we can have a quick look at those while we've still got a bit of time. So we've got, oh, look at him. Do you know what? It's just so cute. Honestly, when you get these home, you can see his tiny little toes and his hands and his feet. Oh, Bunny's going to see if she can, how close she can come in. Are you going to be able to see that? Can you see, look, his like tiny little, oh, look at his little toes. How cute is that? Oh, look at all the detail. Look at the cut lines. Look at all of that detail that you've got on there. He's so cute. Do you know what? I reckon you could, if you cut him out in white, I reckon you could colour him and change him into a different animal as well. I don't know what animal. Yeah, but it could, oh my gosh, you could use it as like a baby card, because I feel like most baby animals kind of look like that. You know, if you like, I don't know, am I talking, do you get what I mean? Yeah, they kind of, yeah, if there was a bit less maybe brown, it was a bit more neutral, then you'd be like, you'd know it was a baby animal, but you wouldn't necessarily know what animal. Do you know what I mean? Like the first like week or two, they're kind of like just a little bundle, and I think I know what I'm on about anyway, so yeah. And then we've got another one there, so it's using the rectangle shape for that one, and then you've got that little home there. But you know, do think of other collections as well, like that one, and that looks so nice together. But I don't think I would have looked at that and thought, oh, that's going to look great with the Getting Cosy collection. But it worked really, really well. And then we've got another one there. I like that. I like the like badgers are like, it looks like one's like deep in the woods and the other one's looking for him or something. Really nice. Then you've got one there with the arches, with those daffodils. And see, similar thing, look. You know, you can make the exact same card again, but using the oval. You just mix them up. There's so many different ways that you can mix and match these up. And don't be afraid either, like this one. So the actual aperture bit that gives you the, like the home or the little nook, you can use them on other dies as well. Don't think that you have to stick to using them within these shapes. There's nothing to stop you using them in something else as well. And then one more. Look. That's like, that seems more summery to me. Like the others are very spring, but that one is like really summery colour. I don't know if it's just the flowers, I don't know. Really flowery, that one. But lovely, lovely collection there by the DT. Obviously all using the Getting Cosy collection. Now I am going to be on Hobby Maker tomorrow using the Getting Cosy collection and the florals that you've seen. So if you want to see any more from them, then I will be on Hobby Maker tomorrow. I think it's 418. She's going to check, but I think it's 418. I might be wrong. She's going to check for me. But this is the last show that we are going to have here. Yes, it is 418. See, I told you, Bunny. So if you do want to grab this, because I'm guessing the price of this will go up tomorrow, Friday. So tomorrow, maybe, the price on this, because it is on that show price for you, like when it launched. So don't miss out on that, and don't miss out on our lace envelope that was in the earlier shows, because that does go up at midnight tonight, because that was our brand new launch today. So if you're just catching the shows now, go back and watch those, because midnight tonight that will go back up. But hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And then next week you've got Clean and Simple. So Dawn will be here next week for the brand new Clean and Simple launch. And then I will be here on Thursday as well with the Early Risers expansion pack, which I think is going to fly. Because that's the expansion pack on Sunrise to Sunset, which absolutely flew. It sold so quick. So I think next Thursday you'll have to be here watching the early shows, because we do get the early show watchers, and then we do get a lot of people that watch obviously when they come home from work, and then more people order, and like in America. But I think next Thursday you're gonna have to try and grab the early shows, I think, or have a look. Will they be able to see it on the Wednesday night, or does it launch Thursday morning? She's gonna find out. We'll let you know. It'll be on Facebook, Instagram, all of the socials anyway. So we've got lots coming up anyway. So hopefully we will see you back here again soon. Bye.